History in a nutshell. What are the real 12 days of Christmas? Apart from a song featuring gold rings and a ridiculous number of birds, what really are the 12 days of Christmas? Put simply, they're the days that run from Christmas Day up until the 6th of January. The 12 days were recognised by the Church by the 6th century, and they were firmly established in England by 877, when King Alfred the Great said servants shouldn't work during the whole 12 days. Instead, they spent their time like this. On the first day of Christmas, the 12 days kicked off on Christmas Day itself, surely. Well, sort of. Peculiarities of church tradition means that Christmas actually starts with the church service of Vespers, meaning evening prayer, on the afternoon of Christmas Eve. In the Middle Ages, the 4 weeks before Christmas Advent were a time for fasting, so by the time the 25th rolled around, people were ready to party. The day began with a very early morning church service, but after that, the feasting could begin. It wasn't until the 4th century that Christians started to celebrate Jesus' birth on the 25th of December. It probably had something to do with the winter solstice and pagan sun worship. On the second day of Christmas, the 26th was the Feast of St. Stephen, the day on which, according to the well-known carol, good King Wenceslas looked out, saw a yonder peasant, and brought flesh, wine, and pine logs thither. St. Stephen was the first Christian martyr, stoned to death for his religious beliefs in about the year 36. In England, we've known it as Boxing Day since the 19th century, when it was a day to give presents to servants. And even back in Tudor times, St. Stephen's was the day when money was given out to people in need. On the third day of Christmas, the party continues with the Feast of St. John, the Gospel writer who was said to have miraculously drunk a glass of poisoned wine without dying. Rich people guzzled down expensive foreign wine, but most made do with ale. On the fourth day of Christmas, the 28th, was Childermas, also known as the Feast of the Holy Innocents, commemorating the infant boys said to have been massacred in Bethlehem by King Herod in his attempt to kill the baby Jesus. Childermas was also associated with boy bishops. Cathedrals, monasteries, and some bigger churches would dress a choir boy as a bishop. He'd take charge of all the church services that day and would distribute charity. On the fifth day of Christmas, on the 29th, medieval people marked the date of the murder of St. Thomas Becket in Canterbury Cathedral in 1170. Not especially festive, I know. On the 6th and 7th days of Christmas, no particularly famous saints or traditions are associated with these days, but no doubt the feasting and merriment continued. Christmas was a popular time for mumming, a sort of half-play, half-fancy dress, and wassailing, which involved drinking from a big communal cup and wishing good health to your friends and neighbours. On the 8th day of Christmas, although the official start of the year wasn't until March, everyone knew the 8th day, or the 1st of January, as New Year's Day. This was the day for gift-giving, a tradition begun by the Romans and still very much embraced by the English, especially the rich and powerful, who gave each other jewels, gold, and cold hard cash. The tradition of New Year's Day gifting went on for centuries, and in fact it wasn't until about 1900 that Christmas Day became established as the most popular day for presents. On the 9th, 10th and 11th days of Christmas, more general merrymaking and Tudor frolics, thank you very much. On the 12th day of Christmas, better known as Twelfth Night, the 6th of January was the Epiphany, marking the visit of the three wise men to the baby Jesus. In Tudor times, monarchs gave out gifts of gold, frankincense and myrrh, and threw huge parties with plays, pageants, and yes, more eating and drinking. Today, tradition has it that Twelfth Night is the day to take down Christmas decorations. Any later than that is supposed to be bad luck. But back in the Middle Ages, people would keep their halls decked with holly and ivy until the 2nd of February, when the Christmas season, according to the church, officially ended. So feel free to take a leaf from our medieval mates and keep your Christmas tree tinselled for a whole extra month. You won't hear us complaining.